We've just purchased a £99 PolyTunnel from Amazon, but budget polytunnels don't do well in storms and high winds, so we're going to make ours extra strong. We're going to take several steps strengthening our polytunnel, one of which I haven't seen anybody else do on YouTube. We chose a south-facing location for siting the tunnel, so it should get sun for most of the day, and the frame went together fairly easily as all the pieces were numbered, and it was just a case of connecting the right piece to the right piece. So Joey's just cutting a little hole in the weed fabric, and then we found out the stakes going better if we just sort of make a little slight hole for them first, otherwise we won't get them in properly. So yeah, we just sort of break the ground up underneath it, and then we should be able to hammer in another stake. It looks like Joanne was in a rush to get this one finished. So I've got these U-bend clips or C-clips off Amazon, and they're 25mm, which is the same size as the frame of the polytunnel. If you're getting any clips, you need to make sure they match the size of your tubing. And what we're going to do with these is screw the frame to this post that we put in there, or a stake, and that'll help hold the frame nice and tight to the ground. And then let me line the lower one up. The next step was to dig some holes so that we could lay some posts in to strengthen the framework of the tunnel. But the first hole that I dug, I hit a big brick underneath the hole, and it took me much longer than expected. We purchased some rapid set postcrete to set some timber posts into the ground. So we've just dug a hole about maybe 12 to 18 inches deep in the ground, put a post into the ground, and then filled it with post concrete, rapid setting concrete. I threw a little bit of sand in with the mix as well, not much, and then I've just set a brick into the concrete at the back to help hold it securely. So that is going to be one of the side beams, and then I've left a gap at the top, because on the top there's going to be a rail supporting like a ridge roof rail that's going to support the top of the structure. So we've dug another hole for one of the posts at the front, and we're just about to fill this with post cement now. We've concreted in 3 posts now. This is going to be the front where the door's going, and we're going to lay a ridged beam down the centre. But it's just started raining, so as they say in cricket, rain stop play, and I'm going in to dry off. It's the following day now, as the rain didn't stop yesterday. I'm putting up a cross piece here to support the end, and then I carry on putting some timber framing up all around the structure to help brace it up and give it some additional strength. You can just about see here where the timber finishes. I've cut off the edge at an angle so it doesn't protrude against where the plastic will be going when the cover goes on. So this is shrink wrap, which you'd normally use for pallets. It's got really strong tensile strength. It's transparent. So we're going to use this to see if it gives us any extra strength on the structure, and maybe a tiny bit of extra insulation as well. At this point we've pretty much covered all of the tunnel in the shrink wrap, except for a section down the front long side where the windows are going to be going once the main cover goes on. We did use some sellotape just to secure the shrink wrap, and it looks like there's a couple of gaps, but before we finish we made sure all the gaps were covered. So we've got the cover on. It wasn't too difficult. I thought that the shrink wrap might make it very sticky, but we managed that without too much trouble. It only took us about 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So that is our new polytunnel. I've just knocked in one of these little nails. I'll show you the tiny nails. And I'm going to put the thermometer that I've got off Amazon. This was a nice little cheap thermometer. I'll say cheap, it was about £5 or £6, something like that. And it's got the function, so it tells you the minimum, see if I can get it in focus, the minimum and the maximum temperatures overnight, when you get the lowest temperatures, and during the day. So that's a nice little addition to the polytunnel, and it'll let me know whether it's getting too cold and too hot, so I can keep a close monitor on it. Another thing that we've got in here is a radio. It's a radio tape player, but I've not tried the tapes. And I got this off the car boot for £1. And it's just nice to have a little bit of music on in the background as I'm spending a little bit of time in the tunnel. I run an extension lead from the garage. I've got power in the garage, and that's a radio that's in the polytunnel with me. And one more thing that we've just added to the polytunnel are these Christmas fairy lights. We've just put them up with some little tiny nails. Just gives a little bit of a finishing touch to the tunnel. Runs to the extension that we take in and out when we're using the tunnel, and we've also got a few plants in, strawberries, tomatoes, we've got aubergines, seedlings, sunflowers, some chilies, more tomatoes and more strawberries. So there's a cucumber there in the corner as well, and some normal pepper as well. So yeah, we've got big plans for the tunnel. I'm going to make some more staging from old pallets. I might even do a separate video on that. It's fairly easy, but it's just a cheap way of setting up some staging. So I've still got a couple of small jobs to do. I've got to dig in the surrounding cover, the green cover of the tunnel.
And that's it, we've all finished. It's time for a brew and brioche.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a biscuit. Yeah, thanks for joining us. If you've any ideas or things that we might have missed, drop us a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like or consider subscribing. Thanks a lot. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.